Hey guys, Adam the Paranormal Polynesian here, and these are the top 5 haunted hotspots in your city. This week on my top 5 haunted hotspots, we're going to the oldest city in America. Can you guess where it is? If you guessed St. Augustine, Florida, then you're absolutely right. St. Augustine, Florida, a beautiful and historic old town lined with cobblestone streets, delicious seafood restaurants, and a ghost or two. Okay? Founded in September of 1565 by Don Pedro Menendez de Avilés, St. Augustine is the oldest continuously inhabited European established settlement in the contiguous United States. Nuts, right? There's something so romantic about this place. There's moss hanging from the trees, beautiful old mansions lining those cobblestone streets, and you've got to experience this for yourself. So let's dive into those top 5 hotspots. Number 1 on my list is the St. Augustine Lighthouse. According to some archival records and maps, this official American lighthouse was placed on the site of an earlier watchtower built by the Spanish as early as the late 16th century. By 1737, Spanish authorities built a more permanent tower from Cauquina, which is pretty much a shit ton of shells and mollusks that have been squished together in sand, so that seems real sturdy. It served the city for many years until tidal erosion and damage from the harsh water made it necessary for them to build a new one back in 1874. This lighthouse has been investigated by every paranormal show that you can think of, including my friends over at TAPS, the Ghost Hunters. I remember when I first saw that they went, I said, I've got to go see that. And when I say see, I mean like see from outside. I wasn't going to walk my fat ass up those stairs because I'm not about that life. Probably the most well-known spirits at this lighthouse are those of 2 young girls who died. Hezekiah Pitty was hired in the 1800s to renovate the lighthouse. His daughters Eliza and Mary were playing in a cart that was used to transfer materials back and forth from the buildings. And the cart that they were in did break loose and they weren't able to escape in time, and they both did plunge to their deaths in the ocean. People do say that they can hear them laughing at the top of those stairs at the lighthouse, or see them running up and down. Y'all already know how I feel about ghost children, so that's going to be a hard pass. Another lighthouse keeper named Joseph Andrew, he was also working on the lighthouse during his time there, and he fell off of a ladder to his death as well. People do report seeing him in the lighthouse too. They'll usually see him at the top looking down. Hey, as long as he's cleaning the glass with some Windex, I mean, might as well be getting some work done while he's visiting. And whether you believe in ghosts or not, you absolutely have to check this lighthouse out the next time you're in Northeast Florida. Number 2 on my list is Castillo de San Marcos, built between 1672 and 1675. This fort was obviously built to keep foreign invasions at bay. No pun intended, because it's like kind of like in a bay. It's like on water. Many visitors to the fort will get a lot of misty shapes in their photos when taking pictures. Others report seeing lights coming out of fixtures that don't even have electricity to them. People will also report being touched by cold hands in the dungeon. I mean, when a place has survived over 300 years of battles and storms, there's bound to be energy in that structure. I've not actually been in here before, but it's definitely on my list the next time I go and visit. Number 3 on my list is the Spanish Military Hospital. I remember the first time I walked past this building on the beautiful cobblestone streets. I was with my husband and my cousin. She was giving us a tour of the city. She's literally the best tour guide there is. I didn't know anything about the building, but I remember walking by it and not even looking, and immediately being overcome with a sense of sadness. A lot of people will go into this building and just start crying out of nowhere. I know with all the years I've gone ghost hunting, when you start crying all of a sudden, that's a good sign that maybe there's something paranormal going on around you. This hospital was rebuilt in 1821, I think, and when the construction workers were digging out the floor for the new pipes, they found thousands of human bones buried everywhere beneath this building. People say because of that alone, there's a lot of unrest. That's right, this hospital sat on a Timucuan Indian burial ground. So, that's like poltergeist right there, so you know shit's gonna go down. Don't ever renovate an old building, that's when you find the bodies. Many tourists also do report hearing screams, cries, and seeing people in hospital gowns floating around in the building. Nope. Regardless of what you believe, if you love history, check this building out. Number 4 on my list is Flagler College. Originally built as a beautiful hotel in 1888, it went by the name Hotel Ponce de Leon. This building is absolutely gorgeous. So gorgeous, in fact, that I had to paint it myself. The first time I saw this building, it took my breath away. Like I said, the building did start out as a hotel, but around the 1910s and 20s it started to see a decline in visitors. Then Flagler established an artist colony at the hotel with an artist building studio constructed to the rear of the resort, and during World War II it was used as a Coast Guard training center. Eventually in 1967 the hotel did stop operations. And that's when, in 1968, it became the centerpiece of the newly established Flagler College. Henry Flagler is his own story, so if you're interested, you should definitely look into his long life. He did have some interesting thoughts on the afterlife. When he died, he asked that every building that he owned have the windows be opened up so that his spirit couldn't be stuck. And all of his workers did see that he got his final wish. Except for the janitor at, guess where? The Flagler College, also known as the Ponce de Leon Hotel. So they say that he actually haunts that building to this day. Hey, I'd want to haunt it too if I was a ghost. It's pretty gorgeous. A lot of the students who live in the building report seeing a man with a tall hat standing in their doorway. And Henry did love to wear him a tall hat. Just take a look at this photo. Hey, he wasn't bad looking. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of, Mr. Flagler was quite the womanizer, and he had a handful of mistresses. I guess his second wife apparently died from being mad at him having sex with everyone. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I don't know how it worked back then. There's also a room in this hotel on the 4th floor where he used to hide all of his mistresses. The room was covered in mirrors, and they also say that one of his mistresses went crazy from some sort of a paranormal experience she had in this room that was meant to contact the dead. This room was used as dorms at one point, but I guess from all the paranormal activity and all of the issues, they turned it back into a storage room. So, who knows? All I know is I love this building, so check it out. This brings me to my 5th and final haunted hotspot in St. Augustine, Florida. That's the Huguenot Cemetery. I hope I'm saying that right. And if I'm not, I'm so sorry. Please send a letter to P.O. Box. The Huguenot Cemetery, Winnie, is there something you want to tell the people at home? Huh? Y'all, please meet. Oh my god. You guys, Winnie wants to help talk about the... Ah! She's evil. This cemetery is like everything you would imagine a beautiful old cemetery would be. In 1821, the city of St. Augustine was struck by the yellow fever epidemic. Somewhere around 14 to 15 people were dying every single day in this town. So this cemetery filled up quick. And by 1832, the cemetery was pretty much full, and so they had to build others. And to this day, you actually can't go in and see the cemetery. Like, you can definitely walk around the grounds, but you can't go into the actual cemetery. But I have a tip for you. If you're there on the third Saturday of the month, they do open it up once a month. The cemetery is open from about 11 a.m. to 2 or so, and you can go in and take a look. One of the cemetery's most famous residents was John Stickney. He was an attorney from Massachusetts, and in 1881 he did fall ill and died from typhoid. He was on the road when he died, and his body was shipped back to St. Augustine. The story goes something like his children wanted his body sent back to Washington, D.C. While the cemetery workers were exhuming his body, they turned their backs for a minute in the heat, and someone stole his teeth, girl. They just took them right out of his mouth. So if you see a toothless ghost, tell him, hey, mister, don't take my teeth. It could be Mr. Stickney. Just saying. St. Augustine, Florida is definitely one of my favorite cities in America. If you get the chance, please go check it out. I know I only gave you 5 haunted spots in the city, but it would take me hours to go through all of the places. And that's what makes St. Augustine one of my favorite top haunted hotspots in America. Where should I go next week? Leave me a comment below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I love putting out videos for you, and I can't wait to see you again next week. And remember, keep it paranormal. Bye, y'all. Bye.